What's up, everybody? I'm Kyle Carlson, and this is the Rollback BMX Podcast, the #1 BMX podcast in the universe, according to me. This week's guest is BMX jack-of-all-trades Dan Foley. Whether it's on his bike or behind a camera, Dan excels at everything he touches. We discuss filming a section for Colt's new full-length video, getting his first tattoo, the difficult balance of quality versus quantity, and much more. So here is the Rollback BMX Podcast with my friend and all-around great guy, Dan Foley. Good morning, Dan. How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm fine. Did you get a tattoo?
I did actually, just about a week ago.
Is that your first one?
Very first, yep.
Damn. What made you do that?
There it is. Well, we were just on a cult trip in New York City. And I guess in the past they went on like a Hawaii trip and they all got like a group tattoo that Adam Roy designed. And it looked really cool. And I guess like the topic kind of came up again. And Sean Mercani was on the trip and he had like a good friend in New Jersey. And he just kind of like hit him up out of the blue, like, hey, would you be down to like come give us some tattoos or whatever? And he was down. And I'd kind of been looking for a reason to get one because I've kind of been wanting one, but I just never really like sat and thought about what I wanted to get. And yeah, the design was cool. It's for It's Later Than You Think, which is the video project we're working on. And I mean, obviously, when you're like shooting clips or whatever for video, you're kind of putting everything you have into the project. So I felt like to be a part of something like that with such a good crew, why not, I guess, dedicate my first tattoo to that? And obviously the design was cool. Everything fell into place.
Did Adam Roy design that?
Yeah, it is his design. I think it's going to be actually printed on a shirt as well. That should be out, I think, sometime within the next month or two.
So give me your opinion on this. I think you'd look pretty lame if you showed up wearing a shirt and then had the logo that was on the shirt tattooed on your wrist. Do you agree or disagree?
I wouldn't say lame. It might be.
It would be funny if it was your
Yeah.
only tattoo.
Yeah,
It's like, I just really like this logo.
I would be a little bit self-conscious to rock the t-shirt, to be honest with you. And it's funny, we were actually shooting photos with some of the new shirts on the trip, and I kind of avoided wearing that shirt the day after getting the tattoo, just because of that reason. But
wearing the shirt of the band you're going to see to the extreme.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it happens a lot in BMX too, where like you end up with like the same logo on your hat and your t-shirt, and then I actually have the same logo on my socks and my hat. So I mean, whatever though. It's a cool logo.
It's the joy of liking a brand, I guess, right?
Very true.
How's the video coming?
As far as I know, it's coming along really well. From what I've seen, it looks great so far.
How about your stuff specifically? Do you have quite a bit stacked?
I wouldn't say a ton stacked. I'm happy with what I have so far for sure. And I think for like the vibe and feel of the video, I'm pretty content because I think we're going for like a more compact, like fast paced vibe.
Yep.
So I wouldn't say I have as much for like a full on like 3 to 4 minute section, but I think like 2 to 3 minutes ish, which is kind of what I was aiming for anyway. So
yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty content. And the deadline, we still have another couple weeks. So I plan on trying to hammer out a few things between now and then.
Vish is handling editing duties, I know. Are you filming with other people or self-filming some stuff, or are you pretty much just getting what you get on trips?
So far, most of what I have is from 3 different trips. I went to California twice and then New York last week. I have self-filmed like about a handful of clips. I do plan on self-filming more when I go home from this. I kind of didn't want to self-film a ton of stuff just because I feel like it might kind of stick out a little bit, or like it might be challenging with like the pace of everything, because especially if the video is like a faster pace, like compact with a good vibe. And like obviously a lot of the stuff on trips, you have like a crew around. So I didn't want to like disrupt that vibe too much. So, I mean, it was kind of like, it didn't really kill the motivation, but it made me not really want to go all in with self-filming because I didn't want it to like kind of be weird, you know?
Yeah.
Plus like, yeah, it's so nice just going on trips with Vish. Like he's so down to put in the work and like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think the first trip I went on for the video was just filming with Vish, and that kind of like set the baseline. Like,
yeah. Do you know if other guys are stacking clips with other filmers, or are you kind of the only one that's throwing this weird curveball? I know most of the guys live in Southern California, so it's probably easy to just get with Vish, but on your end, you're on the other side of the country.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously the guys in SoCal, like you get on Instagram and everyone's always out filming all the time, so I think a lot of it is with Vish, but obviously the crew's pretty scattered out, so I'm not really sure like what other guys are doing, like guys like Chase D or like Hawk, for example. I don't know if they're filming with their own dudes like in their neck of the woods. But and then there's all the overseas dudes too. So I know like Vish is going to film with Alex Kennedy. I think he might be there now, or very, very shortly he's going to be there.
Filming in London or what?
I think so. I don't know specifics, but so I'm not sure the extent of like what the other guys are filming and with whom. But I do know Vish obviously is filming a very solid chunk of the video.
So this video, for people who don't know, it's a real tight turnaround, right? It's like what, 6 or 7 months of filming?
Yeah. So I want to say filming started last fall sometime, like maybe October, November. I think the first trip I went on was like, oh man, I don't even remember. I get the 2 California trips mixed up, but I want to say it was like January-ish. But yeah, so whenever that until July 15th is the deadline. So yeah, probably around like 9 months from very beginning to very end.
Which is kind of a first for Cult. Actually, I guess the first Cult video, they banged out really fast when the first Cult first came to exist.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of throwing it back to that. But I like that idea. I kind of think it's a bit of a modern approach to a full length, in a world of oversaturation and just having so much out there. It's hard to buckle down and spend 2 or 3 years on a project. And I think something like this is super effective. What do you think about that?
I absolutely agree. And I think especially with like attention spans these days, I know mine personally has kind of dropped off to where like if I watch like a long full length video, by the time I get to the end of it, it's fun. I was actually listening to the interview you did with Dennis where he kind of mentions the same thing. Like you watch a video that's like hour and a half long. And by the end of it, you're just kind of like, you're not super hyped to go ride. Like granted, it was like a really cool project and like piece of art or like whatever. This whole thing is like awesome to watch and you appreciate it. But at the same time, like maybe like a 20-30 minute video might get you more psyched to ride and might be something you could just throw on before a session. So I'm kind of hoping this video has that vibe.
Yeah.
And I think the first Cult video really did that. In my mind, like Cult's had 2 full lengths so far. And although the second one was incredible, I almost feel like I like the first one better because it's just like has that easygoing vibe and like it's super fast paced. And
well, it's rare in BMX when you can drop a full length video that's newsworthy. You know what I mean? Usually a full length video is kind of like, we've been working on this for a long time, and like Cult was so new and so hot, and to come out with pretty much a full length video almost immediately, that was never really happened before and hasn't happened since. That was kind of a special thing.
Yeah, I think I agree, and especially with a company like Cult that had so much like buzz around it at the time.
Yeah.
With like the whole fit breakup
it really kind of
situation. And then, for them to come out swinging like that.
Yeah. No, it made a big impact for sure. But I definitely like this, and I like the concept of being able to, you know what I mean? Riders at this level, if they take 6 to 9 months to film something, can film really good stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like maybe Dakota's part is 3 minutes and not 6 minutes, but you know what I mean? When a guy like that and a guy like Ricani, when they're putting in work, like it's going to be damn good.
Yeah, and I think too, a lot of problems that videos kind of like fall victim to is like the hype machine or whatever. Like, like a video gets hyped up for like months and months and months, and then obviously like deadlines always get pushed back. There's injuries, you go on trips that aren't productive, whatever it may be. So it just gets pushed and pushed and pushed, and then everyone has this like idea of this video that's going to be completely epic and game changing, and then it comes out, and although it might be epic and game changing, it's very rare that the video actually lives up to that hype, I feel. So like I feel like pushing something out, even if it's shorter, even if it's not necessarily the most epic groundbreaking riding ever done, I think just like pushing it out, not like rushing it, but like kind of getting it out there before it falls victim to like being overhyped or whatever. I think that's a good thing. So
yeah, you kind of got to strike while the iron's hot, when people are pumped and it's going, people are talking about it and it's fresh on their minds. When you can hit them with it, then it's just like all the anticipation builds as opposed to just burning out.
Yep, exactly.
And I mean, I have kind of a pessimistic standpoint on a lot of things, obviously. I'm sure you know that about me. But like when somebody stacks clips for 2 or 3 years and drops a video part and people are like, it was so good, I'm kind of like, yeah, it should be. It took 2 or 3 years. You know what I mean? Which is like,
yeah,
that's an issue on my end. But, I expect a lot out of people. And so many of these guys you go out for a day with and you see how good they are in a day.
Yep.
It's like, you really needed 3 years for that? Like, I see you on a daily basis, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, granted, there's a lot of different factors that get taken into it, especially like, especially this day and age, like, you have to like post daily to Instagram, and then there's like, you want to make web edits, and then all of a sudden like a full length project comes along and you put all this pressure on yourself. Like, something that you would normally film for, let's say, a web edit, that would be like an amazing clip.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm filming for a DVD. It has to be the very best. It's like not worth it. So like that kind of makes it a little harder to film, and like writers put more pressure on themselves. And then obviously you want everything filmed right, so sometimes you don't have the filmer on hand.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand why things can end up taking years to film, even though like technically speaking, the writer could bang out all that stuff within a month.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then what was the other thing I was gonna say? I was gonna say something else.
Neck tattoo is next.
Yeah, definitely neck tattoo next. Oh yeah, the other thing. So I mean, personally as a writer, I feel too like when you take a long time to film a project, like granted every video project I've been involved with wasn't super lengthy and I feel like was shot within the course of a year. But I almost feel like it's nice to have like all your clips from like the same like short period. I feel like with especially how fast BMX moves and changes, like I don't really like seeing videos. Like I've seen recent parts come out that like although they're incredible, like it kind of bothers me to see like a new school like cutting edge free coaster dude, and then you see their video part and then like half their part they have a cassette and like 2 pegs. Like granted there's nothing wrong with that, but I like to see like consistency throughout the whole part, you know, like
it's kind of inevitable. But I even like a video part of the guy on the same bike.
Yeah.
You know, obviously that's something that's going to, if you're doing a project that takes more than 6 months, you're probably going to be on a different bike.
Yep.
But I really like that. I don't know. I just almost feel like it would be like if you were in a band or something, and it's totally different, but I'm just going to do an analogy. If you were in a band and like halfway through the album, you had a different guitar player or something, you know, obviously it'd be more like if you change guitars, which is irrelevant, but just seeing it, you know?
Yeah. You just want to, I guess, capture what's happening with that rider in that period of time. I feel personally like, because things change so much, styles change, bike setups change. Like I just like to see like a coherent like piece from that point in time from a certain rider, you know?
Yeah.
So I think like a faster paced video, like shorter time span to film, although it may be harder, might be more stressful. You just get like a good representation of what's happening at that point in time.
So are all the Colt Pro guys supposed to have full sections?
So I'm not too sure.
Okay.
I know some guys have filmed a ton. Obviously, the guys in California.
Yeah.
As far as the other
guys,
I feel like
Rick Handy could film like a 6-minute banger video part in like a month.
Oh yeah,
you know?
Easily. So yeah, I assume guys like Rick Handy and Dak are definitely gonna have full parts. I'm not really sure where everyone else stands. I think Andrew Castaneda. I'm sorry, I probably butchered his last name. Andrew Cast.
That was it. Yeah.
I think he's filmed a lot too. I did see some of him and Ricani's footage like back in the wintertime, and it was looking real good.
Nice.
But as far as the other guys, I don't really know. I haven't seen much, and so I'm definitely curious to see how it all shapes up.
How does it feel going into a project like this when you are a skilled guy behind the lens and behind the editing machine, and literally just being in this project as a writer? Is that an enjoyable feeling? Is it stressful or anything? Or, you know, it's just kind of you enter this with a different perspective than the average BMX rider?
Honestly, I love it. Especially like working with a guy like Vish, who like always has such a cool vision, and like all the projects I've been involved with him, I see how he puts it together and how it comes out. And it's just like something completely different than like how I would have shot it. So it's just fascinating to see. And especially with like a project of this scale where there's that much more footage and that much more going into it, I honestly can't wait to see what he does with all of it. So I'm like super excited, and it's just nice to kind of take a step back and just worry about writing and like and like filming clips, you know, and just kind of having Vish take care of the creative side. Like I think it might be harder if you didn't trust the person you're working with as much.
Yep.
But obviously I'm a big fan of Vish's work, so
big fan of Vish as a human being.
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
For sure.
That's the guy you want on your side, the guy that good attitude, talented guy.
Very true.
He does a great job of he's kind of developed a style in the way where it's kind of rare in BMX where you see what he's created. When you see a video without branding and whatnot, you can be like, this is a Colt video. You know what I mean? Like the feel, just everything to it, you could match it with the brand, whereas so many brands it could be anybody's video. It's just the logo at the beginning and the website at the end.
Yep. And that's one of the things that like I really love Colt as a brand, is they like know their identity and they stick with it and they're committed to it. And I really respect that. I feel like a lot of BMX brands kind of fall victim to that. And maybe it's like has to do with the scale of the BMX industry and how there's not really enough money to like hire a full-on video dude or whatever, or a full-on branding guy. So like you kind of get like freelance work coming in from here and there, and you got to take what you can get.
Yeah.
But just to see that Colt's just been so dedicated to like keeping their branding so like focused is really cool, and I'm stoked to be a part of it.
Are you stoked they give you money?
Yeah, that's pretty cool too.
So speaking of Colt and also having a Colt tattoo, you're a really nice guy, and you've somehow had way more bike sponsors than the average pro.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I generally associate that with somebody that's kind of hard to get along with, and that's not you at all. So from the beginning, I believe it was Simple your first bike sponsor?
Yeah, so Simple
Premium We the People Colt. Did I miss one?
Yeah, those were the four main ones right there, with a couple randos scattered throughout.
What randos?
So I rode for a fork-specific company called And Forks, which was super random. But the guy who started it, Mark Noble, he played a big role in Ride UK magazine, I believe.
He started it.
Yeah, so there you go, founder of Ride UK. Devin Smiley actually rode for And Forks, fun fact.
Yep.
At the time it seemed cool. The forks were great. But yeah, obviously looking back, a fork-specific company is a little bit weird, but whatever. Tried it out. And then there was a whole stint with a company called Ezra, which was definitely a learning experience. And I would like to chalk that up to being in my early 20s and not really putting much thought into things. But whatever, you live and learn. But yeah. And then, you got the other
I was talking specifically bike companies.
Yeah.
What, We the People was short. It's like a year, 2 years?
2 years. So, the deal with that was like, when I got on, there seemed to be a lot of focus on like building a U.S. team. They had a U.S. team manager, Andrew White. Shout out to Andrew, amazing photographer.
He is.
So he was the U.S. We the People team manager. For whatever reason, that didn't quite work out, and then it was back to like being European based. And there was just a moment in time where like, I think when that change kind of occurred, they kind of switched directions and like really started honing in on like being like the street brand, and like I kind of feel like, although I love riding street, I didn't quite fit that mold that much, and I almost felt like left out in a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't really feel like it was the best fit for me, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it kind of happened. You got on, and Paul Tholen got on, and it kind of seemed like they were kind of going a bit of a ramp direction, or trying to focus on maybe some ramp products or ramp projects. And now, not that long later, you and Paul are both off. Paul was only on a year. So I guess Paul probably got on after you, did he?
I
want to say maybe everything I'm talking about is irrelevant.
I think Paul got on right after I left.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that. It was right around the same time. So I don't really know. I feel like they try a lot of different things. Like, so they have that trail. They might still have the trail brand. I don't know. They have like a trail subdivision of one of their brands. I'm not.
Do they?
I think it's called Patrol.
Man, I don't even think I know about that.
Yeah. So
it's kind of a cool name.
They have a lot going on. They have a lot going on over there. But those guys are cool. No hard feelings whatsoever. Like,
did you have the Colt thing on the table, or did you leave and then the Colt thing came up?
I left and then the Colt thing came up.
So there was a downtime when you had nothing going on?
Kind of, sort of, yeah. So it was like kind of in the works. Like, I hit up Robbie like a while ago when I left Premium, and like the timing wasn't right and all that. And then this time around I was like, oh, maybe it'll work again. Left We the People, contract was up, didn't feel right, whatever, left. And then the Colt thing just it happened this time around. So yeah,
the timing was right.
Yeah, the timing was right.
Well, and I guess now that you have this tattoo, you're kind of obligated to stay.
I mean, I guess so, yeah.
Who all got the tattoo?
So it was myself, Ricani, Andrew Cast, Robbie got one, Vish got one. I'm drawing blanks right now. I think that's it.
That's it.
I'm really bad. My memory is failing me right now.
Yeah,
none of the.
Were there any Am dudes or anything out there?
Oh, Anthony Panza was out there.
Did he get one?
He was hanging out, but I think he was not present for the tattoos.
Gotcha.
Because he was kind of like back and forth from home because he lives in that area. So,
assuming Colt keeps moving forward and making moves and stuff, Robbie's going to be a 70-year-old man covered in tattoos. It seems like. But I guess moving forward beyond that, we don't need to talk about your tattoo anymore. But congratulations.
Thank you.
You look way more badass than you used to look.
I appreciate it.
Now you're intimidating. You probably go to bars and people don't mess with you.
Wait, do you have tattoos? I feel like we've had this conversation before.
I have none.
Zero.
No, I had I kind of decided on one trip. It was more of a vacation. Went with a couple buddies that we were in Ireland, and I don't know why. I just like the timing was right. Like, all right, I'm gonna get a tattoo this trip. I always, kind of kicked around the idea. I didn't know what it was gonna be, and unlike a lot of the coastal cities in Ireland, they have these road signs that are basically saying "Don't drive off the dock," and it's kind of like a car just driving into water, and it's kind of funny. And somebody had done like some street art on one, and it basically looked like a bicycle was pushing the car into the water. And it was like a super kind of funny thing. And I'm like, oh, that must be it. That must be the thing I need to get tattooed on me.
Yeah.
It just kind of, it all worked itself out. So the last day of the trip, we were going to go out and get him that night. And one of my buddies who was on the trip with me went out with like friends of friends or something like that. And I did a solo thing. They went out like drinking all day, him and my other buddy. And I went to a castle alone and did like some old guy stuff, and came back, and one of my buddies had done ecstasy and was all fucked up, and it was this is a real story. So I get back and I'm like, oh man, and I'm kind of stressing getting this tattoo tonight, and I ended up having to basically be his dad. And he was an idiot. He's never been overseas before. We're leaving the next day, and he's all fucked up, and I'm like, dude, I gotta go home. I've been gone like 2 weeks. Like, I have priorities and stuff. Like, if they don't let you in through the airport, because he was still screwed up in the morning, like, if they don't let you through the airport, I'm literally leaving you here. Like, I have to go home.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I was, maybe that's a sign I'm not supposed to get any tattoos. I don't know. If I could have got a tattoo and I was 17 years old, I'd probably have a Pennywise logo tattooed on me somewhere. So you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Maybe it's a good thing, but no, not fully opposed, but it would have to be the right opportunity and the right idea,
I hear you, but I do have to throw out there, I think the bike pushing the car off the cliff and the street art style, I feel like that sounds like the perfect first tattoo.
I'll find a photo of it for you. I probably have one buried on my phone somewhere, but it was pretty cool. No, it was a interesting trip, especially I like to drink beer, but I'm foreign to a lot of these drug things, so I had no idea, like, he must have taken too much or something, man, because I know ecstasy is kind of a common drug amongst club scenes and stuff, and he was screwed up, man. Like, it was like, I don't know, maybe he took something else and that's what he thought it was, but it was a shitty deal. I mean, everything worked out okay, but just like on his end, it was like, all right, guess I can't take you anywhere anymore.
You all made it out alive, so
such is life, and I spent, last day of vacation sober and trying to keep him from passing away.
Damn, well, a hero.
Yeah, I am. I'm a hero for many reasons. That's just one of them. What do you think about free coasters?
I want to take a second because I just remembered. My brain came back. Adam Roy also got the tattoo. He designed the tattoo. So my apologies to Adam and Chase DeHart. I don't know how I could forget him. My bad, Chase. My bad, Adam. You guys are awesome. So I had to throw that out there. I couldn't leave them out. Free coasters. Free coasters are cool. I mean, granted, I figured out I preferred a cassette because I experimented with a coaster for a little bit. It was fun. I had a good time. But
that was kind of the topic here. It seems like you rode a free coaster for a month at one point.
Yeah, I had it on for a while. I want to say 6 months.
I round down.
So 0 years then.
Yeah.
No, actually, no. If we're at 6, that's 0.5 technically. So technically, I had it for 1 year.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you got to follow the math.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really cool. I had a good time with it. Better for certain things, worse for other things. Just comes down to personal preference. So cassette, I feel, is more suited for me. But yeah,
I like that you're one of the few guys keeping them alive.
See, that's where I think you're wrong. I feel like coasters for a while definitely took over.
Yeah.
I feel like the cassette, I don't want to say it's like on a comeback, but I feel like it's evening out more.
Yeah.
Like I'm seeing more people with cassettes. And then also, I feel like you're just talking about the street crowd because plenty of park dudes, plenty of trail dudes.
You're right.
All racers. They all have cassettes.
No, you're right.
So.
Yeah. Well, I like you having one.
Thank you.
I like when you do backwards manuals and stuff. And there's just certain tricks. I don't know. I like rollbacks, man. They look cool.
They're fun. I like pedal pressure.
Yeah.
No bitch cranks though, but pedal pressure's nice.
Yeah.
there's a fine line.
Yeah. I guess one thing I wanted to talk to you about was how you ended up living in Greenville during like all the crazy shit going on. You know, it doesn't really seem to fit you at all. The more I know you, like, I kind of forget that there's Mira Nyquist drama. Everybody has their warehouses. The Australians are coming and training for the Dew Tour. And Dan Foley also lives there. Yeah, Ty too. Ty Morrow also. There's a couple weird ones in there.
Yeah.
How did you end up living there? And how do you look back on that experience? What do you take away from it?
Okay, so I feel like a lot of people in BMX, they just see like you were talking about, like the quote unquote pro town vibe, where it's like Mira Nyquist, all these people training. But there was definitely a whole crowd of like riders, like even like I'd say equivalent to the pro population of just like normal riders, just riding, having fun. So where a lot of people have this idea that it's this crazy place to live where you have to go and train and like jump in the foam pit and jump in the resi, like that just wasn't true. Like there's plenty of other stuff going on, plenty of really like chill people to hang out with. Granted, even the dudes who were there training, they're down to have a good time. Like they're fun to ride with, like even though they're riding so much different, like everyone got along. I feel like when I moved there, it was kind of like the tail end of everything. Yeah. So like, I mean, there's a whole like Mira Nyquist drama, I guess, or whatever you want to call that.
Well, even
and like the split in the
at
crews.
that point, I'll bet that was kind of winding down or over because Dave had pretty much quit riding, or it was near the end of it. I mean, there were a number of years when his park was still standing and active, but Daniel was kind of running it. Daniel Deers was running it.
So I mean, Dave still rode a bit when I was living there. I think I only rode with him one time actually. Yeah. But so it was like kind of a rare occurrence. But there was definitely like a split in crews. Like there was like the unit crew and the warehouse crew. And like obviously like the unit crew was more so like guys like Ty and myself, Darden, Harrington, like guys who like, I mean, obviously I don't want to say we take our riding seriously, but like we were still down to like ride and like get down and progress, but like we weren't there to train, and like we just wanted to have a good time and ride and have fun. Yeah. Whereas the warehouse, I'm sure they had that going on too, but they're a little more like training focused and a little more like, I mean, like.
Yeah, it was just different.
Yeah, but even with those two crews kind of being separate, like there's definitely crossovers, like dudes from the warehouse would come out to the unit, dudes from the unit would go to the warehouse, everyone would have a good time. There weren't really any bad vibes, and everyone got along. You can go out to the bar, have a drink with whoever, and yeah, it was all fun.
How'd you end up there in the first place? Did you move there for school?
Yeah, so I moved there for school. So I grew up in Maryland, which is just like 2 states north of North Carolina. When I was looking into where I wanted to go to college, my parents made me go to a college fair. I really didn't want to go there. I was like, no, this is stupid. But there I found East Carolina University, which, I mean, I knew it existed. It's funny. I knew it existed based on reading about Greenville or like playing the Greenville level in Dave Mirra 2 where you can ride in the college campus. So I knew there was a college there, but it didn't click in my head until I went to this college fair. And then I was like, oh, there's a college in Greenville. I wonder if it has the major I wanted to do, which was media production. And they had it. So I was like, oh, maybe I should consider this. And it's funny too, because when I found that out, I kind of like had this preconceived notion where it's like, oh, Greenville, people go there to train. It's not my style of riding. I don't know if I would like fit in. I don't know if it would be a good thing. But then when I went to go check out the school, I ended up going to JC Skate Park one of the nights, and I met Aaron Brenner. Shout out to Aaron. He was the first guy I met in Greenville, which he lives out in California now, but still doing stuff in BMX.
Does he work at Primo still?
I'm not sure if he works in the industry at all anymore. Okay. But he was one of the guys who ran the shop out in Los Angeles when that was around.
Aaron's a great guy.
Yeah. So shout out to Aaron. But yeah, I met Aaron at the skate park, and then obviously like Aaron's like a normal ass dude, and he was super cool. Like he was like, yeah, man, you should come. Like it's really chill. Like we like to hang out and ride and party, and like it's not all training. Like, and I was like, oh, cool. And like I didn't really meet anyone else on that trip, but Aaron just gave me such a good like positive first impression, and like I was able to ride the skate park and without like all these crazy training contest vibes that you kind of associate with Greenville.
Getting snaked by somebody sending a double front flip. Like.
Yeah. So, and then thankfully I moved there because I found out that although I guess maybe that does happen and maybe there is some weird competition stuff that was happening there, for the most part, it was really cool, laid back, fun. And I mean, you could ride, there was enough skate park stuff like to keep you entertained for 4 years, even though I ended up staying a few years after I was done with school.
Yep. Did you get your degree in 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that's kind of rare, especially for somebody that's active riding BMX, going on trips and stuff, you know?
I mean, yeah, I feel like I was kind of lucky in a sense that I knew what I wanted to do going into school.
Yep.
Where a lot of people, they aren't sure of their major, so it kind of takes them maybe a year or two more to like get the classes they need, whereas I knew right off the bat, so I was able to like hammer out the classes I needed.
Looking back at your education, do you feel like that was a good move? Did you learn things that you use today, or do you feel like this is something you could have just been out filming and kind of learned on your own?
So I think personally for me, I absolutely use the things I learned in school when I do video work and stuff.
What aspects?
I think just like filmmaking techniques and like editing techniques and camera techniques that were kind of like hammered into my mind, into my brain by like a couple of my professors that had I not gone to school, I don't think I would have picked up on them as like quickly.
Yeah.
Or like some of the things like I feel like I might not even know today, but I can definitely say that I feel that way solely based on like maybe like two professors. Like if it weren't for those two professors, I would be like kind of like, oh, was it worth it? I don't know. But because I had these professors, like 100% worth it. Like I got information that I don't think I would have got anywhere else.
So why did you end up leaving Greenville?
Well, the scene kind of died out a bit. Like everyone kind of migrated and went their own ways. It was like it's weird when you're at the point where you live in a town with like the best skate park in the world, and you have like access to it whenever, and you can't like find someone to ride with. Like that's super weird. Yeah. So like that was kind of the point where the town was at, and like all my friends from like college and stuff, they all moved away and like were doing their own things. And then obviously too with like BMX, like although like riding the unit never got boring, riding JC never got boring. As far as like filming and stuff went, it got really hard because like Greenville's a pretty small town, so you kind of like, I don't want to say you run out of spots, but like it gets hard to film, like hard to find new stuff to do, and like hard to stay motivated, I guess, like riding the same stuff all the time. So I was like, should probably get out of here. Yeah.
Why Raleigh?
So Raleigh is.
So you decide you want to move out of Greenville and move about an hour and a half.
Yeah. So I mean, that is definitely, maybe I should have stepped out of my comfort zone a little more. I will admit that. But Raleigh is a cool city. I knew it we took a lot of day trips there, living in Greenville to go ride or whatever. A lot of my friends from Greenville had already moved to Raleigh, and they all seemed to enjoy it. So yeah, just that. And then my ex-girlfriend at the time, she was into it too. I
think she was your girlfriend at the time.
Oh yeah, my girlfriend at the time, my now ex-girlfriend. She was into it. So yeah, we moved to Raleigh. Also Raleigh it still is pretty cheap. It's not like moving, like I was kind of thinking about Austin too, but Austin was like at the time a little out of my price range. So I was like, okay, I'll move to Raleigh, like stay a little closer, try to get like, see what it's about, see if I like it, and then ended up liking it. So I'm still in that area now.
I think Raleigh's pretty underrated. That's a cool city, man.
I think so too. I mean, it's definitely on the up and up, and like more people are moving there.
Yeah.
But like just that whole area, it's like the Triangle area. So you have like Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, and like between those three towns.
You're in Chapel Hill now?
Yeah. Well, It's like technically the town's Carborough, but it's like literally basically Chapel Hill. So it's down the road from University of North Carolina, and like half hour from Raleigh, half hour from Durham. Like it's just a good spot. It's littered with street spots that no one's even touched.
Nice.
There's like a handful of skate parks just in the Triangle, so it's like it's really rad.
Do you think you'll be in that general area for a while, or is this still a work in progress?
That's kind of a work in progress. I kind of feel like I want to move somewhere, like maybe make I wouldn't say drastic change, but like move somewhere significantly different while I'm still young and while I'm still like able to ride a lot, and like just kind of, I don't know, branch out a little bit, but at the same time,
like Iran.
No, I don't think I would branch out quite that far. Yeah, so I don't really know, and it's kind of overwhelming to think about because you're like, well, where do I go? I don't know. A lot of guys move to California. I don't know if that's for me, but I've thought about it a little bit. I've thought about actually trying Austin. I was just in New York, and I was like, oh, it'd be cool to live here. There's so much going on here.
Until it's winter.
Yeah, until it's winter. Winter sucks. I mean, unless you move to California, you have to deal with the seasons wherever you go. So
True. I mean, give California a try.
Maybe, but there's no shade in California. I like the shade.
Do you no desire to go back to Maryland?
I really like Maryland, but I don't really know. I mean, like, there's not really that many skate parks. The winters are worse in Maryland than North Carolina. It's more expensive. I do really enjoy it every time I go back home. But,
is there a decent riding scene there?
Yeah. There's a decent amount of riders. It's not like crazy, but yeah, there's definitely riders there.
Who are you riding with these days when you're home? Who's kind of your crew?
In Maryland?
No,
in North Carolina. So we have a whole crew that lives out in Carborough, which is the small town I live in.
Is that where there's like the bowl behind like the
bike
shop?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if anyone's seen the Narborough ramp. It's at a shop called Back Alley Bikes. Shout out to Back Alley for letting us have that ramp and shred it whenever. But yeah, it's a cool little town. Actually, my college roommate and best friend, Darren Bolden, shout out to Darren. He lives right down the road from me, so I ride with him pretty often. Jared Whalen, another one of my Greenville homies who lives out there. Yeah, we just have like a nice, tight little crew. Yeah.
That sounds like a good setup.
Yeah, it's nice. Everyone lives within like a couple miles of each other. We just kind of like, I don't know.
So between riding BMX and having sponsors and the video stuff you do, is that all you need to do for a living? Are you set up?
For now, yeah.
I know you're pretty simple guy. You know, you're not buying crazy expensive shit. So I know you probably get by with less than a lot of people. Yeah.
So I mean, definitely, I need to be doing video stuff too. Like BMX alone is not enough. But like between BMX and freelance video work, it's good. So.
Who are some of the guys you're doing video for work these days?
Dude, it's all over the place right now. So
are you doing some out of the industry stuff?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
so
I didn't know that.
Mostly non BMX stuff these days, just because like I kind of found I really like filming BMX, but it's so hard because you have to put so much time into it, and then like obviously like I'm not in filming BMX for the money, but there comes a certain point where you need to be like, okay, this isn't worth it. Like this isn't worth the time I'm putting in. Like I need to be putting this time elsewhere to make money to live.
Yeah.
So like when like obviously you shoot a BMX edit, like it might take someone like an hour to land a trick, whereas like you could go shoot something for like a regular normal non BMX company, you could shoot for an hour and make like $250 easily just shooting, and that's like on the low end of things, you know. So
yeah. What are some of the things you've shot recently that weren't BMX?
So I've been doing a lot of freelance work for this media company that's like Triangle based, and they just do like a lot of restaurant stuff. So like
you filming food and stuff, or
what?
Yeah.
So filming some food. I actually filmed one of the more recent ones I did was like a spotlight of this beekeeper who like started this business where she opens up like beehives on like business rooftops and stuff. And so yeah, that was really interesting.
Did you get stung?
I did not get stung.
Nice.
Bees are actually surprisingly chill.
I learned that. I've had a few bee stings in my day, and those bees were not chill.
Were they bees or were they hornets or wasps? Because that's what I was told, that the hornets and wasps give a bad rep to all bees.
And I'm kind of doing the whole prejudice thing where I judge them all equally.
Maybe. Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe you're generating some false buzz on the topic.
There you go. That's Dan Foley, ladies and gentlemen. You weirdo. Tell us about the stuff you do with Vans. I know you're kind of going to all the Vans events and helping out Cosman and shooting stuff there. You've written for Vans for a while, right?
Yeah, so I've been getting hooked up with Vans it's probably been like 7 years now. It's been a while. Like when I was living in Greenville, Colin McKay, shout out to Colin. He got me to hook up with like just getting flowed stuff, and since then like shoes have kept coming. So yeah, it's been rad, but obviously I've been riding in like the Vans BMX Pro Cup, or like more people like the Bolt Series or whatever, because it's only been the Pro Cup for the past 2 years. But
yeah,
was riding those for the past how long has it been going on now? Like 5 years,
something like that.
So it used to just be the one in Huntington Beach. So was riding in those, and then last year went to the first one in Australia and didn't make finals. I missed it by one spot. And so I was just like, well, I could just stand around and watch finals, or I have my camera with me. I could film finals and just kind of like, I don't know, throw it on my YouTube channel, whatever. So I did that. And then I guess through that, Jerry Batters hit me up and he was like, hey, I saw the video you put out. Like, I liked what I saw. Like, would you be down to help shoot the rest of them? And I was like, yeah, for sure. And so last year it worked out. Justin Cosman was like the main guy shooting everything. And I just kind of like helped him with second angle, because he was like running around trying to get fish angles, trying to get B-roll. And it was just like, if you've ever been to one of the events, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening. So I was just kind of there on hand to help out with that. And it worked out super nice. I was able to ride, I was able to shoot. It did get a little hectic at times. I I think the Mexico stop I made finals, so I had to like ride my final run and then run and grab my camera, and I was like all shaky trying to like zoom across the like football field of a skate park that's out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it worked out and it was fun. And then this year came up and it kind of like I guess I didn't blow it last year, so this year he's like, hey, we want you to do it again. And then I've taken on a bit more responsibility, so I'm actually not riding this year. I'm just going to focus on shooting them. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I think you do a good job at both.
Thank you.
Let's talk about YouTube a little bit. I know you dabbled in that. So what happened with your YouTube channel, and what do you think about this whole YouTube conundrum as it is anyway?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a little weird. Everyone's still figuring it out, I feel. I enjoyed it while I was doing it. I don't want to say I got burnt out on it, but I kind of backed off from it so I wouldn't get burnt out.
See, what made me bummed when you were doing the YouTube thing was I was like, is this the prime example that somebody doing cool shit can't make money doing this? Do you have to do lame shit to make money on YouTube? For the most part, all your stuff was pretty cool, and you know, and you even got, I'm sure, a bit cornier than you would have liked to at times. You know, filming yourself talk in the bedroom and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely did, and it's definitely like a little cringy to think about, but I had to try it out. You know, I mean, you got to dabble to figure out what's right for you and stuff.
So what
works?
What do you think about it as a whole? Do you think there's any future potential there? Will you ever do it again, or do you think this just isn't for you?
I mean, I don't really think it's for me. I feel like I'm okay at talking on camera, but as far as me filming myself talking on camera, it's really bad. So if like someone else is there and like puts a camera in my face, I feel like I'm okay with it. But then if I do it, it's just like, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to be yourself when you're just like sitting in your room with a camera pointed with like, it's just weird. And I feel like that's not really for me. I do really enjoy making videos, and I might make some more in the future. Granted, I probably won't be on camera talking, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think as a whole though, like other people doing it, obviously it's not everyone's cup of tea. I don't really get on YouTube and watch vlogs and stuff like that, but like if people are having fun doing it and they're being like respectful with it, I don't see any problem with that. And a lot of people hate on it. A lot of them are really cheesy and cringy to watch, but whatever, someone's doing their thing, as long as they're not like being super annoying or disrespectful, I don't see a problem with it.
I know you say you got burned out, but do you feel like if you made some money, let's say you made $1,000 a month doing it, would you have kept doing it?
That's hard to say.
Or was it just didn't really have to do with the money as much as it did?
It didn't have to do with the money at all. I think it just came down to like I got to a point where I was like, oh, I set a goal to like, oh, I want to film a video a week, and I was doing that for a little bit, and it was fun. And sometimes it was super easy, and other times it was like approaching like the personal deadline. There wasn't actually a deadline there, but like, oh, I need to shoot a video today to have it out by the end of whatever. And I was like, oh, what can I do? Where can I go ride where I can get like a handful of clips here and a handful of clips there? And it was just like, that whole process of it, I don't really like to like plan stuff that much. I like
forced.
To just like go out and it felt forced. And it was just like, well, I'm gonna get burnt out if I have to do this every week. So
yeah, I was talking to Scotty Kramer recently, and I don't know if this is still what they're doing, but they were literally doing 6 a week, I think.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea. From doing weekly videos, even for a short period in time, the fact that anyone puts videos up daily like absolutely blows my mind.
Regardless of money. I mean, even if you have
I
tons and tons and tons of money, like every single day, that's insane.
Yeah, and like I've heard people hate on vloggers before, like who daily vlog and they're like super cheesy and like there's no production value. But like obviously they're getting views and they're getting money, and people hate like, oh, this dude gets paid to YouTube, and it's like, no, that's like way more than a full-time job.
Like that dude
even if it's like very roughly thrown together, like to put something out daily, that's like a full-time job, like way more than a full-time job. Like you're working like so many hours at the end of the day.
I feel the same way, man. As much as I want to hate on a lot of these corny dudes out there, like you gotta kind of respect that, even if you're just on camera, you know, even if you have an editor and whatnot, just having to use your brain and be like, this is what we're going to do today.
Yep.
You know, and just keeping it consistent. Like that's crazy, man. I don't think anything can prepare you for that. I think if you put in that much work to do this, you could be pretty much good at anything.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm still not going to watch it.
Yeah. I think another problem today too is there's just so much content. It's like, how do you pick and choose what to watch?
Yeah. You've done your fair share of traveling. What's your favorite destination you've been to?
I'm gonna have to say Tokyo, Japan, just because it's like it's so different than anything else. It's so fascinating. Like it's such a vast, big, colorful, vibrant, like just quirky and weird city in like the best way. and it's clean. It's like the cleanest place you'll ever see, but it's like one of the busiest places on earth. So that's kind of.
Were you out there riding BMX, or were you?
Yeah, so it was like, what was it? Probably about like 5 years ago. It was when I was still riding for Premium, and they had like a bike convention out there, and like.
Is that Supercross International? Or
I think it's Motocross International.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they wanted a few people to come out and do demos at that. So I went out with it was actually a really sick crew. It was Kevin Peraza, Chris Fox, Mike Aiken, personal hero, and myself. And we got to do demos for I think it was 2 or 3 days. And that was it. And I was like, well, if I'm coming all the way to Japan, I'm going to stay another couple days, even if it's by myself. So I just stayed for another 2.5 days and just kind of wandered. Just went, I had no plan or anything. I just took the train into the city and just walked around and looked up random things on Google, and just kind of wanted. And it was just so crazy. I definitely really want to go back there. It's on the top of the list of places I want to go, even though I've been there before.
That's in my top 5 favorite places for sure as well.
Yeah,
Tokyo's awesome.
Yeah,
man, the food, best food in the world.
What was your favorite thing?
In-N-Out Burger.
They have In-N-Out?
No, I was kidding.
Oh.
Man, so I went with a buddy. I went a few months back with a buddy who's not a BMX guy, just kind of a quick getaway. Not like a romantic thing, just 2 dudes sharing hotel rooms, getting drunk. But he's pretty hardcore into food, and he did all the planning as far as that stuff goes, and had a high end sushi thing that was
oh my gosh,
$200+ a person, and you had to have a reservation. He had to get a reservation a month in advance or something like that.
Gotcha.
And you walk in and you take your shoes off and you sit on the floor, and there's just one old man chef, and there's maybe maybe 5-6 other seats in there, and he's just kind of working for you, and it's kind of a set menu. He makes whatever's fresh. My buddy paid for it, so that was cool.
Nice.
But I mean, it was really good. As far as the experience that goes along with eating it,
yep,
that was huge. One thing that kind of surprised me there, and you might know about this. Do you know what Shirako is?
I have no idea.
So a big delicacy there is people eat cod sperm.
Interesting.
Yeah, so everybody in there is eating cod sperm, and I try to be pretty adventurous, especially with eating on the road and stuff. But I couldn't do cod sperm.
Huh?
No. Would you do cod sperm?
I mean, I think I would. I mean, I don't care. Why not?
I don't know, man. Cod sperm. Cod sperm.
Whatever. I'm sure that bit might be pulled out by one of the BMX meme accounts, but you know what? Whatever. Yeah. I would do it. I would eat cod sperm. Whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, if I was there, if my buddy I was with was doing it, maybe I would have also. Because everybody else in the restaurant was doing it. It was a high-end, nice place, to where I think it's kind of like a delicacy. It's a good thing. I don't know, man. I probably would have done it if my buddy wasn't smart about food and that's cod sperm. If it was just here's another piece of random fish or something seafoody, I'd be yeah, let's party.
But what is it liquidy, like a soup, or what? How do you consume it?
They cut it open and take it out of it, and it's
Whoa.
Yeah,
it's gooey. I mean,
I think it's gooey. I haven't done a whole lot of cod sperm research, but I'll make a deal with you. Next time we go to Tokyo, I'll buy you cod sperm.
Sounds good to me. It's funny that's your food memory of Japan, whereas mine was, I had no idea where I was going. I wandered into some random place for breakfast, and I got pancakes with ice cream on it for breakfast. And I was like, oh, pancakes with ice cream. This is the best thing ever. I've never seen this anywhere else. So you have this crazy $200 sushi with a delicacy of cod sperm, and then my memory is, oh shit, I got pancakes, and they came with a scoop of ice cream, and it was the best thing.
You got to give a big shout out to the just the random ramen shops. What's the Coco Curry, that chain? It's a yellow building. It's everywhere. Just going in there and getting a chicken katsu curry, spicy, super super good. And it's a chain. It's everywhere in Japan. I was in this is kind of a random other story, but I was in China last maybe 6 months ago for a UCI event and some other stuff, and there was a UFC fight on, and I got up really early to watch the UFC fight because I guess I like stuff like that, and Daniel Sandoval wanted to come watch it, so I got up, I bought it a pay-per-view, so I bought it, and Sandoval was coming over, and he's like, do you want me to bring anything? And it was like 6 a.m. over there, and I was like, just grab me something to eat at the coffee shop, because where he was staying and where I was staying, there's like a coffee shop in between, and he was stopping there, and he brought me pancakes and ice cream.
Boom. All you need.
And I was kind of like, man, it's like 6:30 in the morning. I'm watching people punch each other for a lot of money, and I'm eating pancakes and ice cream. Like, this is okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could be stuck eating cod sperm.
Yeah, maybe it's way better. You know, I guess maybe the reason I don't want to eat cod sperm is I'm afraid I'd really like it.
Ooh, and then what if it were like your favorite thing you ever ate, and then every time someone asks you that question, you like either had to lie to them or you had to answer it with cod sperm,
or even just like without the social stigma, just really liking cod sperm. And I doubt there's anywhere near where we are right now we can go get cod sperm. I don't think I've ever seen it in the United States. You know, like, God, I love cod sperm, but I have to travel around the world to eat it.
You would have to figure out how to harvest it yourself.
Yeah, just start a whole cod sperm chain. Long John Silver's for cod sperm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know how we got off on this topic, but what I guess one thing I want to discuss before we wrap things up here is your overall mentality on kind of keeping it simple and less is more. I think you've always had I don't know if it's natural or if it's calculated, but a really good balance of everything you put out seems to have a purpose. You never seem to go dark. Like, it's never like, what the hell is Foley doing? But it's never overdone. It's never like, all right, we've seen enough, you know? Like, how do you approach that overall idea with your personal content and kind of controlling it on your own?
Are you talking about like trick selection kind of stuff, or like?
I just mean in general, man. It seems like you're always out there just enough. Like, everybody gets their fix, but nobody's like, all right, dude, we've seen it before. Like, chill, go away for a month.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know, to be honest. I always try to like mentally keep tabs of like, oh, I haven't put something out in X amount of time. I should probably do something. Or, oh, I just did this. I'm going to like chill for a little bit and just like, I don't know, do whatever. I do feel that I feel like that it's a relief to hear you say that, because I feel like, especially being in the process of filming, every time I get in a filming process, I'm like, oh shit, I filmed another turn down, I filmed another tabletop. So it's like, oh, people are getting sick of seeing this. And like, I don't know. So it's a relief to hear you say that. I hope people aren't sick of it yet. I don't know. I just try to like be conscious of what you're putting out there and try not to overdo it, I guess. But obviously have a sense of like, when you haven't put something out in a while, just be like, oh, I should probably do something. I should probably make something.
So basically, based on this pretty bad answer you just gave me, I'm going to assume it's kind of just natural.
It
just kind of works out.
It was a complex question. It started one place and ended another.
Well, that's kind of what I do. I ask bad questions. I try to rope you into saying you like cod
sperm.
No,
it was a good question. I was just too enamored by the cod sperm. I couldn't focus.
I feel like there's a formula, and none of us know what it is, but there's a perfect formula for like BMX content. Like, put this out this much, give people blank, hit them with these Instagram clips every so often, then hit them with one big thing every so often.
Yeah.
I feel like there's got to be a perfect formula that just works into like the psyche of the brain, where it's like,
yeah. I mean, I don't think of it as a formula. I just do it by feel. So like, when you're like, I don't know, it's cool to put out, like, if you put out 3 Instagram clips a day, that's cool. But then be like, well, do I really need to put 3 out a day?
Yeah.
Maybe I should put 1 out a day, and then maybe film a clip for an edit and save that 1 clip. And then, I don't know, by the time a couple of months pass, you're going to have a full edit, and then you're still putting out 1 Instagram clip a day. So you just got to like figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's next on your agenda? Obviously wrapping up the cult video. What else are we going to see you in anytime soon?
So cult video's wrapping up. Should be out September-ish. Premieres the beginning of September.
Where's the premiere? California?
Yeah. So right now the premiere, I want to say Cult Clubhouse. I don't know if the date is 100% set in, but beginning of September.
Nice.
I know they're going to do like multiple premieres.
Yep.
So
you going to do one in North Carolina?
Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, aside from that, this Vans contest series, we're actually at Woodward right now, up here to shoot it. I think the contest is about to start in like a half hour, but doing the full series, so that's about to kick off. I don't want to say kick off because Australia already happened, but there's about to be like 3 back-to-back, like Huntington Beach, Mexico, Malaga.
Yep, keep it moving.
Yeah, so going to all of those to shoot and probably ride some in between. There's also a Madeira full length in the process of filming, but I feel like they're going to take their time with that, so that might be a while out.
Who's putting that together?
That is Grant Castelluzzo is going to be the main dude behind
Okay.
that one. So Grant actually just recently got put on Madeira. He was on Profile and they switched him over to Madeira. Made more sense.
Did they do
And yeah.
Sealy also? Did they
Yeah,
have the
yeah,
Sealy?
yeah.
Okay.
Grant and Sealy because they both fit Madeira.
And then
bit
their
more.
kind of profiles more of like the park dudes and stuff. Is that
I
kind
mean,
of what they're going
I wouldn't
for?
even put Profile on that. Profile's just like kind of, I don't want to, like, they touch on all the bases, but I feel like Grant and Jake are such like street focused guys and they just like, they fit so well with the crew, with the Madeira crew. Grant was coming on every Madeira trip anyway to film, and he just felt like part of the team already.
Made more sense.
Yeah, and then Sealy just came on our last trip to DC, and he just blended right in. Like it just worked out. So
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I guess the final question everybody has to answer, and I'm pretty sure I already know your answer, but your favorite bike rider of all time?
yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Chase Hawk. I just did a video talking about this, and yeah, he's just the steeziest.
It would be pretty cool if you did a video talking about this and then had a different answer here.
That's true. Throw everyone a curveball, but I'm gonna stay consistent.
Why? Why Chase Hawk?
He just makes riding look the best, and I feel like me personally, I enjoy someone's riding more if they make bike riding look good. Like the person who can make bike riding look the best without having to do tricks. Like to me, that makes them a good bike rider, and Chase is just the best of that. Like you can just watch Chase ride a park and not do a single trick, and it's like, to me, that's more appealing than anyone else doing any trick. So.
Do you have you gotten to go on a few trips with him since being on Colt? Have you gotten to do anything with him yet?
No, we did have a trip planned, but due to circumstances, it kind of fell through. So I haven't actually been on a legitimate trip with Chase. I mean, we've hung out a lot at like these Vans events and stuff. But
Yeah.
Other than that, no, we haven't been on a trip.
Man,
yet,
I was
but-
in Boise last week for the X Games qualifier. Chase, man, it's everywhere. But you kind of forget how good it is till you see it in person and regularly. Just different lines and just high speed, and man, he did some really cool shit in Boise.
Yeah. We actually watched the stream of that contest in New York on the Colt trip.
Did you see me in it?
I'm not sure if I did. I'm sure I saw you somewhere in some in between runs. Riders catching their breath shots.
I'll be pretty pissed if you didn't see me. I made it a point to be in front of the camera as much as possible.
But I do want to put this on record because Chase's first run was incredible. He got robbed. I don't know who judged it, but I don't know. It was better.
Do you want
better
names?
than
I'll give you names.
Better than 77. No offense to the judges.
No, I don't remember just because the whole weekend's kind of a blur in my mind between practice, qualifying, finals, and whatnot. But Chase rode the bowl. The way Chase rode the park, and the way Gary rode the park. Gary had an incredible run as well, and didn't make it in either. Kind of it is what it is.
It was a weird one. I mean, granted,
Chase in the run you're talking about, did he do the thing where he parted the high speed manual, like manuals up like that little lib
and
out
just
of it,
like
and,
pops right
into
back
it,
in. Yeah,
keeps the
he
speed
did
moving,
that.
man,
Yeah,
was
he
so
did
sick.
that, and I was like, "There's no like." I mean, granted, there might be another dude in that contest who could have done that line, but like
maybe like Dennis or somebody.
Yeah, like I could see Dennis or Gary doing that, but like to do it in your run and to make it look that good and that fluent, like
it was crazy.
Especially at a like if it looked like that was his home park, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this manual."
And he's ridden it like 3 days ever.
Yeah, so
crowded.
Yeah,
with all the other guys sending shit.
That was impressive.
He's got a natural gift.
Yeah,
he's
sure.
got it's an art watching him ride. Mm-hmm. All right, Dan. Anything else you want to get off your chest before we go watch these dudes?
No, I don't think there is. I think we covered a good amount. Thank you for this podcast, though. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to him.
No problem. Yeah, I actually binge listened to the 6 of them that were out. I think there's a new one that's came out, right?
Nina Buitrago.
Okay, so I got to listen to that one. But I listened to the first 6 on the way to New York.
She talked shit about you in it.
Oh, damn.
Like, how are you doing, Nina? And she's like, fuck Dan Foley.
Fun fact, I think I have a signed Nina Buitrago poster somewhere at my mom's house.
To Dan, fuck you, Nina.
Yeah, it was personalized too. No, it was a little nicer than that. I think I got it when I was like 15.
She's a nice person. She didn't actually say anything bad about you.
Shout out to Nina. She's always been
awesome.
cool. And,
all right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan. Wrap this up. Let's go party.
Word.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Later.
All right. That does it for this week. Big thank you to Dan for making the time. Follow him on Instagram @Dan Foley. And remember, it doesn't count if you don't pull the rollback. See you next week.